we are at the start of the second third. Swiss bring the ball in from the back, through centre pivot, out to the right-hand shooter, who options the ball back to the centre pivot and passed out to the left-hand side, where the ball is shot straight over the top of the front line. Second line still quite hanging back quite a long way. Nice shot, nice lot of power from the Swiss. GB bring the ball in now down to the right-hand side, across to Lou Watmore, who options the ball back to Janine Leziak. Ball's sent out to the right-hand side where it's shot. Tried to flip back into play by Swiss front line, but unfortunately the ball just bounces away from their reach. Swiss bring the ball back in to their centre pivot. Centre pivot sends the ball to the right-hand side, where the ball is switched to the left, and great shot from the Swiss left-hander. Excellent switch, well timed, great jump, splits the GB defence cleanly. GB send the ball into the centre pivot. Centre pivot sends it back to Lou Fountain, where the ball's sent back to the centre pivot and down to the left-hand side. The ball's shot, caught cleanly front line by the Swiss number 11. Swiss switch the ball and send shoot from the left-hand side, but it's caught cleanly by the front line defence, who send the ball up the court and passed across, where a skim shot unfortunately is called landing for GB. Swiss have the ball over the far side. Swiss start with the ball, where the ball is optioned straight down to their centre pivot, who pass down to the right-hand side, number 11, where the ball is shot and caught cleanly front line by Charlie Vanner. Passed out to Kate Eastwood and then sent up the court, one pass left where the ball's past the left-hand shooter. The shot goes in, dug front line very well by Switzerland, who catch its second line, pass to the right-hand shooter, who shoot and score cleanly. Frame ball called, correction by the referee, the point not given, and frame ball called. Katrina Theobald passes the ball down court, where the ball's past the shooter, where it's shot and goes short. GB ball at the back. Swiss defence were all set, waiting for that one, but didn't need to defend. So Charlie Vanner brings the ball in now, into our centre pivot, who takes their time and then passes the ball up to the left-hand shooter, switches across, where the ball is shot and caught cleanly front line. Pass down to their centre pivot and then down to the right-hand shooter for the Swiss, who sends the ball to the opposite corner. Great pass, where the ball is shot and caught. Oh, just gets away from Mel Hibbard. Katrina Theobald now takes the ball at the back. The ball's passed into Janine Leziak, who passes the ball down to the left-hand side, where the ball's switched across and the shot comes in, caught cleanly front line by number 12. Passes the ball up through to the pivot, who passes to the right-hand side, does well to retain the ball, quick switch and shot and point scored. Very good play by the Swiss, excellent movement. GB not quite quick enough on their feet there. So the ball's brought in from the back for GB, who passed the ball down to the left-hand side. Kate Eastwood, who flips the ball straight up to the right-hand side. The ball switched across and caught cleanly. Pass down the court now to number 11, who shoots, caught cleanly again by Charlie Vanner. The ball's passed up the court and flipped straight back down, switched across and well held. The ball's obstructions called by GB. Katrina Theobald now has swapped ends with Charlie Vanner for GB, and the ball's brought in and flipped straight back to the same end, where the ball is passed back to the pivot, flipped out the left-hand side to Mel Hibbard. Unfortunately, the ball gets away from her. Ball's taken, unfortunately landing called. Ball got away from Dana Mattery. The ball's passed down for GB and out to the left-hand side, where the ball switched across to Lou Watmore, who shoots. Ball caught cleanly and past the left-hand side, up through number 5, and too many passes used. And the ball starts off with the left-hand side, flipped across to the right-hand side, where the ball is shot and point scored. Unfortunately, Vanessa Recic could not quite get to the line in that instance. Okay, breakdown. It was a foot on the line, breakdown, and the ball's passed up through the pivot, where it's shot on the left-hand side, cleanly through the defence. Nothing GB could do about that one. Good movement and lovely simple play by the Swiss. The ball's brought in by GB and flipped back to the same end, switched across to Lou Fountain, who tries to skim but hits the frame in the process. So Swiss start with the ball on the left hand side, where it's passed down to Lynn Besson and passed out to Vanessa Recic. The ball's shot and point scored. GB couldn't do anything about that one. Again, lovely simple play by the Swiss, scoring points. Ball comes in for GB, Swiss are all set. The ball's passed down, Swiss bring their defence into play, and the ball is switched across but a little bit too high for Kate Eastwood. Ball's passed up now for the Swiss, who shoot the ball on the right hand side. Very quick play, nice change of tempo from the Swiss. GB not quite ready for the ball to be shot in there. So the ball comes in now to Janine Lesiak, where it's passed on to Kate Eastwood. Kate flips the ball across where the ball's shot and caught cleanly, and then passed back up to the pivot and back down to the right hand side. Final pass used, but unable to shoot from that position. GB take the ball now, take the breakdown, feed it through their centre pivot. He pass it back up to the left hand side where the ball is shot, but frame ball called. Swiss take possession of the ball and the ball's fed in quickly. Good switch, but unfortunately couldn't quite get on the end of that one to get the shot away. GB start with the ball tight on the baseline for the breakdown. Ball's fed in, down to the centre pivot for GB, who passed the ball out, switched across, but unfortunately ball started to go wrong from the very first pass and didn't quite get hold of that one. Switzerland take the ball on the far side, bring the ball up through their centre pivot to the left hand side. He switches it across, but unfortunately switches just too far to the right hand side of the Swiss number 6. GB bring the ball down the court and it's passed across to Mel Hibbard, ready to shoot, who shoots, but caught cleanly by Swiss number 11. Ball shot back, dug up front line, but gets away from GB. Point scored to the Swiss. GB take the ball up to the other end, switch across and get the shot away, but Melanie Jacket catches very well. The ball's passed down to Vanessa Recic, switched across to Samantha Urbina, where the ball is shot, dug up front line and caught cleanly second line. One pass used. Second pass comes up, caught cleanly by Dana Matre. Ball's switched across and shot straight back, point scored.